I'm going to critique the most expensive house in Encino, so if you decide to remodel, build your dream home, buy a property, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm the How to Buy a Mansion guy. My name is Arvin Haddad. Let's watch this together.
Let's walk this way down the hall. To one side is our elevator, where I'll actually show you what it looks like inside. This takes you all the way up to the roof.
Okay, if you haven't watched part 1, you haven't missed much, because this is embarrassing and hilarious in how they got the dimensions and the scale and the ratio of rooms wrong in this mega mansion they're claiming to be the best thing Encino has ever seen, right? And this elevator is a prime example of that. It's like even the elevator, the dimensions of the elevator is off. You will see that like throughout the whole video and even in part 2. So you can watch part 1 after this. It's hilarious, but you haven't really missed much.
The black walls, and behind me is actually the exit to the rooftop. Once you get up there, you leave behind yourself. So you enter in through the basement, you exit behind you in the roof. Even the elevator is incredible. You have a skylight in your elevator.
It's a light box. It's not a skylight.
To the right here, laundry room, real quick. Same tones that we've seen throughout the rest of the home, with the contrasting backsplash and cabinetry up above. So much storage.
Where are the washing and drying machine? Like, where are they? This looks like a place, like a kitchen. Where's the washing machine?
Across the way, yet another room. Cozy room. This could be a studio in Los Angeles. I really like the look of this room, as you can almost make this a 1-bedroom apartment in LA. This is bigger than some 1-bedroom apartments in New York, that's for sure. You add a wall right here, and you have your own separate bedroom section.
Darren, that was the worst suggestion I've ever heard. So the door would just like close on the entrance to the light well, like just right on the dot, and you can't even... How did you get out of the bed? That's a horrible idea. It's I don't think you should turn this into a 1-bedroom. It is what it is. The indentation, maybe a Murphy bed? That's it.
Let's exit here and show you more to see. If you think you've liked what you've seen so far, kindly hit the like button. I really appreciate it, but just wait, because you are in store for, honestly, just so much more. This property is unbelievable. Behind me is the bar that we're not going to show you just yet, because this is something I've never seen in a home. Through these double doors is the wellness room of your dreams. I'm just going to let you take this in for a second.
It's, first of all, low ceilings. There's a height limit as far as how tall you can build in Los Angeles. If I'm not mistaken, it's 32 feet or 34 feet. I think 34 feet. And because they've decided to build a basement over the ground, they can't give more than 10-foot ceilings to any of the floors. Now, that volume looks bigger in upstairs because they gave double ceilings, right? They didn't put any square footage on the upper floor. So there are these areas where you give the volume, which is actually a good trick to use to kind of improve the volume and the scale of a property. But in essence, most of this property has, 10-foot ceilings? And that's not luxury. The entrance to the spa doesn't seem at all tropical, like he mentioned above in the first episode. It looks very dead. And just because you put, stones around the circle doesn't make it a spa.
The ceiling up above emulates what you see in a Rolls Royce with all of the recessed lights. Almost makes it look like you're seeing stars up in the sky.
No, it does not. It looks ridiculous. It's such a cheesy... Oh my God. Like, come on. Like, you can do this in a movie theater, okay? But in a spa, it's just the completely different energy. What you need in a spa is a lot of indoor plants. You need maybe natural light. You need stones. Over here, it looks like a lobby.
We'll start over here in the corner. Glass shower leading us into...
Wait a minute. Like, everyone would be able to see you in spa if you take a shower? What? That's like the lobby of the spa. Like, you could be there with your friends. You have to get naked in front of your friends to take a shower? What are you doing?
Walk into the barber shop with me. Here it is. Just have to invite my barber over. And then we're ready to go. I'm here. I'm sitting down in my home barber shop. Floating vanity.
Wait a minute. This is a powder room. They just put a chair. What? This is like a sink there, and there's no mirror. They just put a freaking barbershop chair. They turn it into a barbershop.
Let's close that and keep walking along this rock-bordered pathway. I'm taking my time with this one because this is one of a kind. But let's walk into here. Let's see what's next on the list. Another glass door. And here's your spa room. You get a massage in here. You've got the massage table. You invite your masseuse over. You invite your barber over.
Again, it's so obvious these people have not built this caliber of home before. It's all glass doors. So if you're getting a massage, you're naked, like someone else could walk in and see you there.
And let's keep on moving. Before we show you that section, still going to go along the walls because then this leads us into, what could this be, guys? Full-on sauna. And as you can see, this isn't the saunas that you might be used to seeing, and that's because this home is so new that they haven't even finished the sauna here yet.
I thought he was going to say, like, it's like by design so you will sweat more. You have to stand or something. Okay, so it's not finished yet.
And as we leave, you can also see that same stone we've been seeing on our countertops, bordering every door that we've entered so far.
Let's talk about that. That's something that they've done well here, but I didn't see that repeated in all the rooms. It's definitely a newer thing that it's becoming more popular even on, less expensive homes. They framed the door they clad it with marble. Just gives that door that presence. Interesting, and a lot of people are doing it more and more now.
There's one more section, one more room here before we finish up the spa, and that is your steam room. Here in the steam room, we've got once again that beautiful stone with the veins being linear from the floor up to the ceiling and then right along the ceiling, down back across the other wall on your bench. These are very wide benches that extend the entire length, wraps around this room. This steam room is so unique. You can see where you're going to be having the steam come out down below.
Wait a minute. That would burn your calves, right? It's not supposed to be there, is there? It's supposed to be away from your body. That steam coming out is crazy hot. Burn your feet.
But let's finish up down here while we are walking around still. This is the space they use for your home gym. You've got one of those tonal machines here in the corner that are incredible.
Very small gym. I love the fact that it opens up, okay? In general, I love the fact that the spa opens up. Now, I would have at least put this dry sauna with a view to the outside because it doesn't get steamy there and you can, really enjoy the view and the canyon view. But overall, the gym area where you want to do exercise is really small because you can't really block that entrance to the outside. So you end up with these two little pockets on each side. And that's really, really small if you want to do free weights or have any machines or any of that stuff.
Then we've got some yoga mats, some ropes, great staging down beneath. Little Pilates machine.
Do you see what I'm saying? There's no room.
And there's a bathroom down here as well. Dark finishes on the walls, on the floors.
Like, none of the bathrooms had a mirror. I don't know if you guys noticed or not. Like, you're screwed. If you gotta use the restroom, you want to fix your hair, check out your nose, your teeth, something's stuck between your teeth, good luck. You gotta use your phone.
These sliders do open up from the middle and just give you more of these epic views of the hills out here.
Let's talk about the views because we're looking at the hills of Encino. These are Santa Monica Mountains. I typically like this view where you see homes on the hill. I call it the Amalfi Coast view. But the difference between this view and let's say Hollywood Hills view, the homes over here are not that pretty. They're pretty old. As to like if you look at Hollywood Hills or Beverly Hills, the homes you see are significantly more beautiful, more prestigious, grander. Over here, you see a lot of Mediterranean kind of 1990s home, and architecturally, they don't have the oomph.
Let's leave this space, though. There's more to see, guys. I know that's hard to believe, but let's walk down a couple of steps. Transitions into a wood flooring as we lead into the bar area. Dark finishes, an elevated countertop that extends out above 5 bar stools that are not cheap either. As you can see, from the gold tone look.
All right, a very uninspiring bar. The stone countertops is very busy. Introducing a darker color wood did not work for me, and it does not look modern to me. But the way that it sticks out from all the other colors, because we have natural wood and lighter beige tone walls everywhere and marble, and this just kind of didn't match with that. And then the way it contrasted and popped looked like an office bar more than a basement lounge spa entertainment. And the cabinetry in the back is just, again, it looked more of like a kitchen cabinetry than a bar cabinetry. So overall, I give this bar a 5.
And then this area, which is one of a kind. This could be anything you want. Maybe make this another gym space or make this a studio.
Gym space? Put the gym next to the bar? Are you serious?
That was it for this entire retreat of a resort, of an oasis in your basement level. Let's step up back onto the tiled floorings, and we're gonna walk down this hall. There are a couple rooms to show you guys, but first, another powder room, dark tones in this one.
Venetian plaster, why did you decide to introduce that? Like, you see, like sometimes they get bored because the square footage is too much and they don't have an actual plan. They're like, oh, we need to break it. It just does not go whatsoever with the interior of the whole basement. There's complete contrast. There's no continuity. If you had introduced in this color or tone somewhere outside and you just kind of doubled down on it in the powder room, it could have maybe worked. But you just introduced it completely something out of the ordinary. Nothing has to do with the rest of the space, and you expect it to stick. It's not going to stick.
Let's head out of here, down the hallway. Let's see what else we've got in our basement. Storage door, and then more storage closet spaces. Here's another bedroom. Wow, it just never ends with the uniqueness when it comes to every room throughout this home. This feels like just we're in a different house when I walk into here. None of the rooms can emulate or give me the same feeling when you're stepping into them. Let me just look at this. Because of the wood slats that surround what is basically a living room section,
the ceiling just dropped significantly over here.
This also has a full walk-in closet and a full bathroom, floating vanity, unique tile on the walls, glass shower, everything that you could want in any bathroom. Let's see the room next door. Entering into this one, yet another retreat. The turf in our side yard really just pops out at us.
Okay, not a bad bedroom distribution. Okay, so you have 2-bedroom guest rooms that all the way in the basement level, away from the primary suites. Now, I believe most of the bedroom for the family is upstairs, and you had one other bedroom on the ground level, which is, I was gonna say level with the entry, but it's not, because you had to take that massive stairway to get to the property. But overall, a good bedroom distribution.
We're gonna show you the upstairs now that we finished the basement and the main levels of this home. And trust me, you're not gonna wanna miss that master bedroom because it is insane. That's the only way I can describe it. Let's head up. As we make our way up to the second level, first off, I have never seen a landing space leading up to the top floor quite like this one.
I pointed out this in the first episode. Pretty cool. It's definitely like a ultra luxury if you have the space and the volume to provide that little moment. In the lower level, going to the basement, they had it set up as a kind of a art area where you could showcase whatever cool art, that maybe sculptures that you had. And in this area, you get a view of the mountain. Pretty cool.
We arrived to the top level, and once again, look underneath my feet. I'm standing on a glass bridge. So there's no avoiding the glass bridge up here. You can't go around it. You have to walk directly through it.
Now, I talked about this on the first episode. This could be a deal breaker by alienating a significant, the wealthiest demographics who are families. This could be like a binary thing for someone who's just scared of heights. I don't want my kids and wife to go over glass stairs. What if she's wearing a skirt? Like just, if you don't think about this stuff, but when a bachelor guy or a single guy, and most of these older guys are trying to recreate what they would have liked if they were like 20 years old and single and looked young and they were in shape, and they keep going to that. They keep going to that little like dream in their alter ego. What if I had this when I was a kid? I'm going to create that, right? Or like a late midlife crisis or something. You alienate demographics. You make your work so much harder to finding a buyer. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're only allowed to do it if you absolutely have to give natural light to a lower level, and it's the only way to do it for a very small portion.
What you might notice up here on the second floor is that all you can really see as of right now are the two glass bridges, the one beneath me, one to my right, and then you just have a glimpse and a view all the way, once again.
That's so freaky. And just the ceiling heights are so obvious. Like, you had openings to allow natural light to go in. You didn't have to make glass bridges.
So follow me as we walk into the master bedroom. Now, if you've just joined the video and fast forwarded all the way to this part, you would not believe me that this is a bedroom that we're stepping into, because I'm overwhelmed right now.
We're not, Darren. We're not surprised. We're not overwhelmed at all. Good luck.
And we're going to start with the place where you're going to be sleeping when you live in a home like this. You can see the California king-size bed on the left side up against yet another long wood slat wall.
Like, you didn't even break it up. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's a long wall. What are we going to do? The whole thing. Come on, like, you could break it up. What about a headboard? What about a situation where you can kind of lift up where the bed is? If you just do the whole wall like that, you're not giving any significance to where the bed is going to be placed. You want to frame it. Like, it's so, there's like no taste, no planning, it seems. Like, come on, like, you can do better than this.
And then in the center, we have a centerpiece being your fireplace with the large book-matched marble stacked up above.
Okay, so again, same as downstairs, they should have hit these outlets right inside the marble. So if someone doesn't want to put a TV, they won't have to look at it every single day.
Over in the corner, more windows looking over into the views once again. On the opposite side of our fireplace, once again, the book-matched marble stone right here, so you can even make this a nice desk space, office area.
This is a desk space. It would look really weird if you put a desk over here, because the desk and the wires and everything will be shown from the outside. And if you put it against the marble, then you know the view's behind you. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things with the dimensions and where things go in this house have been off. And very hard to fix, because you have to move probably structural walls and stuff to fix it. But there's a lot of these dead spaces, or too narrow or too wide, where it's really hard to put furniture in and make it usable, which just tells me they kind of decided to first max out the lot as far as square footage goes, and then figure out, okay, what are we going to put where? And then when you take that approach, this is typically what exactly happens.
Let's keep on moving here. We have some staged living space right next to all of your storage, but that was just the start of the bedroom. That's where you're going to be sleeping. Now we've got to see where the person that lives in a place like this is going to get ready every day and put on a nice outfit. Or it doesn't even have to be a nice outfit, because who are you really impressing when you have a house like this? You don't have to impress anyone with your unique clothing.
Okay, pretty good closet. Humongous in space. Doesn't have his or hers, but considering how big it is, I think it's more than enough for the caliber of the house. This is important. In a lot of these luxury homes, you really got to get the closet space right. And I think in this house, they got it right. What's really off is the light fixtures. Like, where did they find it? It does not go with the modern architecture whatsoever. Seems like, you know, it's like a Versace like belt or something. I don't know. It just doesn't go well at all.
Behind me, more glass closet doors that look into your shoe wall. And as you can see, it did just get brighter as I opened it up. So it is motion censored when you open up these closet doors, and wood finishes throughout the entire inside of the closets and out. Down below, you have this handle on the lower half for more storage space.
Look at the plugged in. Dude, craftsmanship, come on. That's the LED lights for the cabinets. There's a plug. It wasn't done from the inside, you know? Horrible. It's embarrassing in this price bracket.
But speaking of one large room, there's just all of this room where we see it staged with a curved sofa down beneath, acting as just another living room. Can you imagine getting your shoes, sitting down here, getting ready? Your wife is over there, she's getting ready. You're just lounging, you're relaxing right here. This is just its own room in your closet.
Like, this so doesn't go with the scale of the room. The light, again, scale is ridiculously off in this house.
But let's head out of this closet. Let's see how that bathroom is, because if this is what the closet looks like, just imagine the bathroom. And if you thought this was going to be an ordinary bathroom, first of all, you probably weren't thinking it was going to be an ordinary bathroom. This is definitely a spa. Look at this. Oh my goodness. First glimpse right off the bat, you might have said, wow, that looks like one of the most unique showers I've ever seen, because there are no doors, there's no glass. Well, funny enough, there will be glass here. They're just waiting for this specific shape to be imported from Turkey, because look at how curved the shape of this shower needs to be.
So many problems here. First of all, that if you put a round glass over here, it would really narrow the space. And a round feature in this like just boxy house is not a good idea, okay? It will look ridiculously weird. And then why would you have two showers right next to each other? Isn't the whole concept of like you and your lover taking a shower together? Isn't that like you and your wife, or if you're single, like you and a couple girls together take a shower? Isn't that the dream? No, you're just saying, no, you got to take a shower over there. I'm going to take a shower here. So stupid. Then the other big problem is that there's no mirrors in front of the vanities. It seems to me they first allocated this space to the bathroom, and they thought, we're going to figure out what to put where. And then when they started putting stuff, they're like, wait a minute, this is all exposed because of the windows, so we have to put the sink over here, and the sink is not going to have a mirror.
So what else are we seeing in this bathroom? You have this entryway that you saw, spa-like entryway, makeup station, beautiful marble with purple detail in the veins.
That's a nice marble. Overall, it's a little bit busier than I like it, but the choice of marble has not been bad in this house. Overall, I don't think they've made big mistakes over there.
Corner windows in front of me overlooking the views. Vanity right in the center with book-matched marble here on your countertop in the middle. Once again, views, views, views. And they may be implementing mirrors as well right on the countertops, but for now, it's not too bad.
Thank you. Maybe. They might consider, because almost none of the bathrooms had a mirror.
Here's where the tub is. The tub really just blends in, and this is how you can tell how big the scale of this room is. The tub looks tiny because you can stand anywhere in this bathroom and the tub feels like it's so far away.
First of all, it's a very generic tub. Second of all, they should have put that diagonal, not so close to the shower. But I bet you what happened was that the plumbing was there and they're like, crap, like this is too close to the shower, but we didn't think that through. We should have pulled the plumbing like maybe on this wall, right? Where you or on the ground, that it comes out from the ground. So that bathtub could have like sat on its own space and wouldn't have been crammed next to that shower over there.
Look at this tub, freestanding. You get your privacy right up against, once again, another book-matched marble wall. And something unique about this tub that I noticed is most tubs in brand new developments like this one, they want the tub to have the best views and be displayed right in front of the window that's giving you views of the mountains or the city, the skyline. But not here. They really just have it private up against the marble wall. And I think that's because you're getting views from really anywhere else in this house.
No, the reason they didn't is because they didn't plan it right, Darren. Everything else is exposed. Why wouldn't that be? They should have put the bathtub diagonal, at least had a decent view of that little tiny window.
Taking a turn to the left, passing by the glass railings, storage space over in the corner, and now we're heading along to a few bedrooms up here. Follow me to the left. This room overlooks the driveway, the large staircase in the front of the property, but once again, finishes match the theme throughout the rest of the home. Also, if I'm talking about staging, even this blanket on the bed matches the same tone as the wood closet doors that go up to the ceiling.
So this room doesn't have a walk-in closet. $40 million.
This might be the best spot to see the home from any other spot in the property. I might just never leave here. I might just put a chair on this glass bridge and make this my home. But this is better than a luxury hotel. You might think that this is a luxury tropical hotel, as I might have said earlier.
I don't know where you get the tropical. There's almost very, very few indoor plants in this property. And when they are, they're not lush. They're like more like desert trees.
Let's keep on moving and see what's down this direction, because this is really mysterious. You can't even tell what is this way quite yet. But let's head through this door, because I think we got another bedroom. Finishes in here are very similar to other rooms we've seen in this home.
Dude, earlier downstairs, you said every room, every bedroom is different. Didn't you say that in the basement?
None of the rooms can emulate or give me the same feeling when you're stepping into them.
They're all the same. I'm like expecting different finishes. I'm like, let's see if it's different. It's not. They all have the same exact finishes.
Well, let's head back outside. Once again, there's the glass bridge. We'll never get over that, but let's see what's down this direction as we keep moving to my left. Now, this is something that you don't see every day, and that's the spiral staircase leading up to the 360-degree view rooftop deck. If a home has a rooftop deck, it's gonna sell me, especially if it's here in the valley in Encino, because that's very rare.
You want to avoid spiral staircase as much as you can. It really cheapens the property. It tells me that you didn't have enough space. You have to cram it in. And you did have space. Even the cheapest homes in the United States have spiral staircases. Avoid them at all costs unless you absolutely have to. And when you have to, tuck them in. Tuck them, hide them. Don't put it up front and for everyone to see.
Head down this way with me, because what do we have here? Just an upstairs common private area to sit down, relax, lounge around, and overlook the living room, the fireplace, the opposite side of our property up here. And there really is just so many different spaces in this property to maybe make an office or just put a chair.
It's funny he says that, because the office downstairs on the main level didn't look like an office at all, so he forgot that there was an office there. But what's interesting is that you get 4 bedrooms on the upper floor, which is the absolute minimum you have to cover in ultra luxury. Hopefully 5 would be ideal. But the upstairs living area, I don't think it's going to get used that often. It's open on all sides. It seems like more of an observatory than actual living space where people would actually hang out, which makes me feel like maybe if you didn't have this place opened up or enclosed, it would have been better to give the entire volume to downstairs, because if no one's going to ever use this, why even have it?
And then you can go over to this side. As you see, it kind of extends a bit, so we're now next to the fireplace stone in this little nook standing in between the glass railing and the window.
No one will ever hang out there in that spot where you're standing, Darren. Oh my God.
And it doesn't feel like a basic 20,000 square foot home. Now, it's hard to say that a 20,000 square foot home is basic, but we've showcased a lot of those on this channel. But really, you just have different views from every space we've seen, and it would never get old because of how many different views there really are.
He's right about this. See, the best thing about this property is how it's in a bit of a promontory and how you have views and light coming in from every direction. The real positives of this house is the way that property actually sits on the lawn. You have setbacks from almost every direction. You have a big backyard, you have a good frontage, you have setbacks left and right. And you're going to get natural light coming in from everywhere. And they have so many windows everywhere. So this property is going to be lit. He's absolutely right about that.
Let's go out to that balcony before heading up to the roof. Passing the floating staircase now. This is called living the dream and living your best life, if I've ever seen one. This is your corner balcony overlooking that lap pool.
Do you see how ugly this architecture looks here? Look at these windows. You see, first of all, 2 different sizes right next to each other with almost no space in between. Then you have this window and this. There's no symmetry. There's no cladding on the walls. There's no bespoke element.
But I want you guys to just take in these views with me as I walk along and head back to the spiral staircase And you can also see the curved glass that surrounds the spiral staircase, as well as the individual pieces that make up the wall leading up to the roof. But now if you want to see some views, let's go to the roof. There's just something about walking up a spiral staircase. Up here on our rooftop, we've got wood paneled flooring, and this leads us over to a turfed flooring. And here's one thing you're gonna see: light fixtures
that don't work. That one is working. This one seems like it's not working.
You're also going to see several built-in speakers, such as this one, and that looks like a rock. That's actually a built-in speaker.
No, bro, that looks like a speaker. Everybody can tell. So bad. It's so cheesy. Such a cheesy house. Oh my God.
An open fire pit area where you can enjoy cooking up some s'mores on a chilly winter night right here. And then head over to this side, another built-in speaker, views facing north in the San Fernando Valley. There are homes down below that are incredible. This is one of the most, not one of the most, this is the prime area in Encino.
Questionable. It's a little too high up. It's good, but it's not the best. This whole area is good. If you don't care for views, you can get some massive lots, like maybe 2-3 minutes lower in the flats of this area. But it is, generally speaking, one of the best parts of Encino.
Entire San Fernando Valley, you can even see the Van Nuys Airport, the private jet airport, which is what you're probably going to be flying in and out of every single day if you live at a house like this.
Every single day. Okay, Darren. Look, let's talk about your proximity of your house to airport. Okay, I covered that in lot orientation, which is one of the 10 principles of quality. I'll be covering that in my workshop, 5-day workshop. We go over each one of these 10 principles, and then we analyze each one, right? And day 4, we cover how it would affect buying a home. Day 5 will be how it affects designing a home. But each one of these has like 10-20 elements, right? So this falls under lot orientation, and the orientation of your lot around what it is, right? So you don't want to be in the path of the airplanes landing or taking off. Landing is slightly better than taking off because the engines are a little bit quieter, but taking off, they full blast that, so it's much louder on the takeoff. Overall, there's some cities that you can't really avoid airplanes generally. You might be able to avoid being in front of them or behind them. But for example, in LA, there's 7 airports. There's Long Beach, there's Hawthorne, there's LAX, and the Santa Monica Airport on the west side by the water. And the valley side, we have Van Nuys and we have Bob Hope Burbank, right? So you're going to hear airplanes anywhere in Los Angeles. You just want to not be in the path of them.
Let's keep on going because there is a large comfy couch staged in the center of this turf where you can take a nice sun nap on. After enjoying your s'mores, relax here. The sun just feels so nice. I'm sure wherever you're living in the world, it's probably not as nice of a day as it is here in Encino right now. And I don't mean to hate on anywhere else in the world, but we have the best weather here.
Truly speaking, Southern California is really, really good weather-wise, except for the fires, of course, earthquake, mudslides, all that other jazz. But weather is good. Weather is great.
Over to this side, step up. Back here, you see this part is the skylight, actually. You can look down into the 3rd level of the home.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, because it pops out like this, it gives the illusion of more volume downstairs. You see that? They've done some cool things.
And then over here to my left, this is where the elevator brings you up to. And as you can see, they also have the travertine finishes surrounding both of these doors. The door to the right, now this is your bathroom on the rooftop, because when you're throwing a party up here or hanging out by yourself, you can use the restroom without having to go downstairs. You've got a toilet, you've got a glass shower, and as you leave, you have a travertine sink outside.
What was the inspiration behind that? That was like the worst sink placement I've ever seen. It looks so bad. It looks so bad. Like, it's important that they thought about the fact that you should have a bathroom up there, right? So if you have guests, they don't have to go downstairs. It's good. Very happy about that. But that sink just looks like a, you know, a house in a village in a developing world where there's like a hole in the ground and there's like a little sink outside where you just wash your hand. Just cheaps out the house. You see what I'm saying? Cheaps it out.
One more look at this entire rooftop, 360-degree views, and it leads us all the way back.
Okay, overall the rooftop is decent. There's a lot of space, good for entertaining. But again, I think I can't compete with the backyard because the backyard was massive swimming pool and it was pretty large too for entertainment as well. It's totally a party house. Like, to me, I would not even market this to families because you just did not really satisfy their needs and address them in the design aspect, which really makes it difficult who your target buyer is for a property like this. Because the only thing that I would say it could gravitate a young bachelor to this location would be the garage. Having a 20-car garage for a young car collector, car guy, could be the only factor, because you're not going to get 20-car garage in Hollywood Hills or Beverly Hills. So you have to come to the Valley. And then Encino is pretty close to LA. So that is your only hope, to me, is to selling it to a bachelor as well, because most bachelors would want way better views, which is LA views, and closer proximity to the fun stuff in LA, to going out. As far as the rooftop, I feel like the landscaping was the weakest part. You need way more mature plants for the rooftop to really give it that oasis look, because it doesn't feel like an oasis at all. Okay, let me tell you guys what I like about the property, what I didn't like about the property. I think the lot was very good. A great lot. They just overbuilt on it, okay? They tried to max it out with as much square footage as possible, adding 3 different floors. You could have got a $40 million exit if you would have had executed this house with maybe 15,000 square foot, okay? Maybe 10,000 square foot. You just had to make it really, really special, private, and extremely high-end finishes with very well thought out design and everything. The way the house sits on the lot utilizes the lot amazingly. You have side yards, you have everywhere backyards, you have a rooftop. The approach is good, except the ridiculously ugly stairway to the house that it looks so off. Architecturally, it's not significant whatsoever. The finishes, I thought, were really below par, not necessarily just as far as material. They were like maybe a 6 or a 6.5, but the way the craftsmanship was just extremely poor. The planning was really poor. The dimension, scale, the ratio of the rooms were completely off in some areas. The prime example of that would be the dining room. The best things about the property is the views, the garage. I think those are the main selling points of the property. Now, if you like this property, you will like this house with a booty. Check it out. Or this Trump Tower in New York. Otherwise, you can see me end of the month at my 5-day workshop. It's going to be live, where you can bring your homework. If there's a house you're remodeling or you're planning to buy, you can bring it in, take notes, learn how to evaluate that house, find out its flaws, analyze the flaws, and then make decision if it should buy it or how you should remodel the property or build your dream home for that matter. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the comments.